Hey everyone, Todd Michael Putnam from Creative Adventure Tables bringing you another adventure table idea. And this is the Temple of the Doomspeakers. The Temple of the Doomspeakers. I just ran this session, just got done with it with my guys today. And the short version of it is that the Doomspeakers are an evil cult, of course, that my heroes decided that they wanted to take on. So the cult itself was located in an old abandoned not monastery, I can't think of the word, noble's manor house, couldn't think of the word, sorry about that. Slow on speech today, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so in an old abandoned manor house that they had taken over, and don't worry about the big priestess right there, I'll explain that in just a minute. That's at the end of it. Like I said, we just wrapped up our session, but the heroes go and they decide to infiltrate the priests first because the paladin's goddess told him that she was unable to penetrate into the heart of the evil of this particular place, and so she needed him to go in there and be her eyes and ears and see what's going on before he destroyed it, so that they could get some understanding. So the paladin kind of a personal quest. And so the heroes went inside. There's a lower floor when I take this off, which I can't really do while I'm holding the camera here, but it's all filled out. And essentially it's where they trained and stuff, and they listened to the Doomspeakers talk about their religion, about the four evils, basically the four eternal truths, which are death and decay, chaos, pestilence and famine, and what was the last one? Oh yeah, Unspeakable Terror. So, and they basically prayed to deities of these four things that no matter what culture or whatever it is, these are things that hold terror in the minds and hearts of men, and so that they're the eternal thing. So they find out that that's what's going on, that there's actually four deities that they're praying to, not just one, and they instigate a fight with them, and they start cutting down the Doomspeakers, and which all goes relatively easily, until they find out that there's the place where the test takes place is up here on the top. They go up into this top floor, and when they go to take the test, put that back, it teleports them. And of course, all this is covered up over here. I have big towels that I throw over the top of it so they can't see. And they go to this one area here, and this basically starts the test. It's a room with four doors in it, and this malevolent being, even though it can physically only face one person at a time, each one of the players feels like it's like burrowing into their heart, looking directly into their soul, beginning the test, letting them know that there's no place to run or hide, that there's no backing out of this test, that they must face their fears and either overcome them or submit to them in order to become true acolytes of the gods of terror. And so she explains to them that the test is ready to begin. The room rotates around, which doesn't make any sense because there's four doors going in any direction anyways, and that's part of the chaos and crazy and not breaking down of the mental state of the characters, in the world that they're in. And eventually it sends them down this stairs here, and the first area that they get into is the Temple of Chaos, which is dedicated to what the Doomspeakers call the Invisible Sculptor. And they call him the Invisible Sculptor because you can see the chaos that he creates, that he sows into the world, but you can't actually see the hand that's guiding it, that's making it happen. You can only see the end result, the artwork of chaos, so to speak, that he creates. So when they get into this place here, it looks like it's a chapel or a temple, but unlike a normal temple or a church that you would go to, where everything is ordered and organized and everything is, has a pattern to it and stuff. This is the exact opposite, where the benches are pushed up against the wall. The guy playing the organ is just playing all kinds of crazy, bizarre, jarring notes. There's literally an outhouse that's put inside here. There's areas that are floor that are wood, and then right next to it there's stone. There's well-crafted walls, and then there's stone walls right next to it. It's just a pure chaos. And as soon as the heroes step inside, the pandemonium begins, and they begin fighting each other. And the priests, whenever they hit and they do damage, there's a chance that it hits the players with the confusion spell, and they randomly do something that makes it harder to defeat them. Once they finally defeated these guys, they went down these stairs. If they tried to go up these stairs here back into this main room, it was locked because once the fate has begun, there's no turning back. You have to face all of your fears. So they started with Chaos, the invisible sculptor. Next, they went to this room here, which was Chronos Dracos, basically the time dragon of death and decay. And he had a breath weapon that they had to do saves. And if they failed on that saving throw, it did ability score damage. Did a little bit of hit point damage, only a D4 hit point damage, but much more scarily did ability score damage with their strength and their dexterity getting lowered by 1d4 points if they failed the save on the death saves. Plus his tail could flap around and knock people around a little bit. Once they defeated him, they went on to the next one, and that was basically the Avatar of Plagues. And so this big nasty looking giant bug creature, he also had a breath weapon where a plague would come out and swarm them, and he's like plague and famine and stuff, and so these bugs would come out and start eating away at their skin and stuff and infect them. And if they failed their saves on that, they took Constitution and Charisma ability score damage because it's a wasting away. And then, of course, he also has this giant scythe thing that he would swing across and do cutting damage to people. And all these piles of bodies right here, they're not actually dead. These are people that are emaciated and dying of the plague or famine slowly. And if the heroes got too close to them, the hands would literally reach out and grab them. They wouldn't do any damage, but they'd have to make a strength save. Otherwise, they would be grappled in place and unable to move, and making it a lot easier. They'd be at disadvantage against saves when this guy swung the scythe at them. So that was the third of the 4 terrors. And then the final terror, where the final truth was Unspeakable Terror, which is this giant blobby type guy. All these things are from WizKids, by the way, except for the original Big Mini there. And this one here, it basically attacked their mind directly with raw horror, and they'd have to, no matter where they were at, there wasn't like an area effect. It could attack all of them because it's an ultimate terror type thing. It would attack, and they'd have to make intelligence saves to grit it out. And if they failed, then they would take either wisdom. They would take wisdom and intelligence damage of D4, and it could actually teleport around. And this whole terrain, this whole swampy, slimy area right here was all difficult terrain. So it was like next to impossible for the players to get to him. And then he could teleport to a different location anyway. And if they got too close, he had claw attacks and stuff. He's obviously the big end boss mob type thing. But they did, in fact, defeat him. And so once they defeated him, he let out this horrific scream in all of their minds that was so great that they all blacked out. And when they came back to, the paladin woke up first, and his deity, who happens to be an action figure of World of Warcraft, of the priest, which worked out quite nicely, had appeared to reward him for getting inside the temple and finding out what the Doomspeakers were doing. And so she took away all of the ability score damage that they had taken. She healed all of that. Plus they got some nice magic items throughout the process, and they leveled up to the next level. This is an extremely low level game where they were literally second level when they did all this. And so each of these avatars and stuff was obviously scaled down significantly. But the reasoning why that they were so low to begin with, such avatars as according to their faith, is what the scale of the avatars they could summon were. So because the Doomspeakers were very young in their faith and whatnot, these were obviously nothing compared to what the full power of what these avatars would be. But they were certainly extremely powerful for the level that the players were at. So kudos to them for taking care of it. Almost all of this is from WizKids, their Warlock tiles. This top section right here is from their town and village, which is great. And then all the stone stuff that you see that's along these walls here, and then the overwhelming vast majority of this in here is from their dungeon tile sets, which are great. Then there's from their stairs and ladders, got several of these. The temple was a mixture of both town and village and their dungeon tile sets. Each one of these had a glowing rune that that was started off glowing, and then whenever the characters defeated the avatar, I'd click the button and it goes to a slow pulsing to show that you can never totally defeat chaos, you can never totally defeat death and decay, you can never totally defeat famine and pestilence and so on and so forth. but the slow glowing let them know that they had it back on its heels, that they had defeated it per se for this moment. And then also I used from Monster Fight Club. I used their awesome. I love these. You can get them now. These are like $30 for a pack if you get the non-acrylic type ones. These pathways are great, and on the flip side of them is a river. So that's from Monster Fight Club. The bushes are from Monster Fight Club, and the trees are from Monster Fight Club, including the dead trees right there. That's just what the trees look like when you take the canvas off of it, so you can put whatever type canopy that you want on top of it, and like the rock on the side, if they had decided to try and sneak in and get in through the window or something like that, that brown rock, that's also from Monster Fight Club. And of course, underneath, supporting all this is a whole bunch of my Todd tiles that are 3D printed up and painted out, and you just take those and build them up to make them 3 levels high, and then I used 24 by 24 inch clear plexiglass to rest on top of it. See, that's what that looks like underneath there. That clear plexiglass is more than strong enough to hold all of this stuff right here. Don't have any stability problems or anything like that. And then I just used 24 by 24 inch mats that I got from, I can't remember which company, for grass to throw on top of it, and then throw everything on top of that, and you're good to go. So that's it. That was the Temple of the Doomspeakers. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and we try and put out something new every single week. Have been doing it for 2 or 3 years now, so plenty of videos to watch. And let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys next adventure. Take care. Bye.